In 2012, our daily debt service is going to be $93,586, which is what it costs to fund $34.2 million. That is our debt for this year, 2012. That's from past borrowing, and we need to make sure that we don't add to that every single year, which is what exactly happens every single year. I'm not saying that capital debt's necessarily a bad thing. What I am saying is that the level of capital debt that we have is far in excess of what we actually need, because we place things from the operating budget onto the capital budget. And that's not something that we can afford to do. Frankly, it's not, I don't even know if it's certainly not moral. I know that much. And I wouldn't do it. Yeah, Dane County's debt in the last 10 years have gone up from $69 million to $241 million. That represents a 349% increase, far above that of inflation. And it's simply unsustainable. And unfortunately, part of the reason why that's gone up so much is they've taken money from the capital budget and put it into the operating budget to make the operating budget actually work. And that's not an acceptable behavior. In fact, in an interview with the State Journal, my opponent said as much, that they were actually borrowing money to make the operating budget work. And he said that they should cut back on that. My response to him was, no, you shouldn't cut back on it. You should cut it out. It's not an acceptable behavior. In 2011, Dane County Board raised our property taxes 4.5%. Now, that doesn't sound like a huge number, but in fact, it put us in the top 5 counties in the state of Wisconsin. And the reason why it was held down to 4.5% was because of a state law that mandated that it be held down. There's a property tax levy. If they hadn't had that property tax levy from the state in place, they would have raised it higher. 20 years ago, the Dane County enacted a half-cent sales tax, and what they said that they were going to place that sales tax there for was to build a jail. Now, we have since built the jail. It cost about $25 million. Unfortunately, the sales tax remains, and in those 20 years, we have collected, hold your hats, almost $700 million in sales tax collections. If we had actually applied 100% of that money to building a jail, we could have built 28 of them with that amount of money. Where'd the rest of the money go? It went into the general operating fund to fund all manner of programs. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't important programs there, but unfortunately what happens is when you place a tax on the rolls, they never seem to go away, and they don't always seem to go to what they were supposed to go towards. And that's the kind of stuff that we really need to put a stop to at the Dane County Board. We are going to need a number of people to be elected to change the very character of the leadership of the board. We need a number of people to get elected in order to make that happen. This election is going to be a start. I don't know if it'll be a finish. It would take a lot of wins in order to make that actually occur. But you have to start every great journey with a step. And this is our step. We need to head in that direction, because otherwise it's simply the tide is going to go down the road of taxing and spending, and we're simply not going to have a sustainable budget in the next few years if we don't turn it around and reverse it.